afternoon, Namibia and the world, and welcome once again to a session here at the Government Information Center. My name is Desire Kahiha, and I am your host for the afternoon. And today we are looking at the opportunities that are available for our youth out there that did not qualify to tertiary education or institutions. And in the studio, I've got a healthy panel of 4 that will be assisting us to discuss this point, because the most important thing here, we're trying to inspire and motivate, and especially those that feel despaired with regards to them not succeeding to tertiary education. We do have Ms. Keri Kodothi, and she is the founder and creative director for Usuta Couture. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
And then right next to her, we've got Ms. Belinda Hambure, and she's the manager for corporate affairs and marketing at the National Youth Service. Good afternoon, Ms. Hambure.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
And then the gentlemen amongst the ladies, we've got Mr. Manfred Kahipura, and he's an economist with the Directorate of Industrial Development in the Ministry of Industrialization and Trade. Good afternoon, sir.
Thank you for having me. It's a privilege.
And last but definitely not least, we do have Ms. Sirka Ngintila, and she's a programs manager for Credit for Youth under the National Youth Council. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, ma'am, and thank you so much for having me.
Starting off very quickly, we would like to then find out from Mr. Kahipura, can you enlighten us on youth programs and initiatives that are offered by your ministry?
Thank you very much for the question. Yes, the ministry does not have necessarily a specific youth program in place, but however, we have other programs that are meant to holistically support our MSME development promotion, be it whether it's adult or youth. At the end of the day, we want those that have benefited to at least have their business sustained for a long time, and also create more opportunities for others. But we also have programs where we encourage the youth and women that are in business to apply for like the current up and running Gemstone program.
I'll stay with you, Mr. Kahipura. What are some of the responses to these programs that you have put out? As you said now, you spoke about encouraging, is it the women to apply? Has the response been well to some of these offerings that you've put out there?
Yeah, thank you for the question. For real, the program is in demand. Yeah, the youth are really coming to the office in big numbers, looking for information, applying. Yeah, I've received a large number of applications, only from Commerce region. For now, we have not yet received the ones that are coming through our regional offices. So I can imagine it's going to be a big bunch.
But for the sake of the listener, and pardon me, ladies, what are the criteria? Because you're speaking about having basically being swamped, and I can imagine, with applications and queries and so on. But what are some of the criteria that you're looking at with regards to the application process?
So the program, the ministry has considered the youth that can't make it or can't further their studies due to maybe poor performance or any other challenges. Maybe so we have lowered the requirement to grade 8 minimum.
Okay.
And so we are also even the required age. It's within the range of the definition of the youth, which is from 18 to 35.
Okay.
Yeah. So the program is meant to capacitate them and also offer them other opportunities that are meant to for them either to get employed or maybe to become entrepreneurs in the gemstone sector.
Okay.
Yes.
Is there any fee? And maybe just for the sake of anybody listening right now, where can they obtain these application forms?
So the applications can be downloaded on the website as appearing on the advert. And if you come physically at our office in Windhoek, you can also be given an already printed application form, or either through our regional offices countrywide.
Okay, okay. Ms. Hambure, I come to you now with regards to any form of training programs, initiatives that the NYS is offering.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yes, we do offer training to the youth. We are mandated by the Act to actually provide training to the youth. Our training goes into 3 phases, which of course starts with the first phase, which is the civic education or the national service training. And then the second phase is the voluntary service, with the third phase being the skills training phase. So, yeah, maybe I can go into the various phases in terms of what they aim to do, because the first one is really your civic training.
Yeah.
It's the national service training. It's paramilitary. It's called. It's the first phase training, and the reason is really to instill discipline, patriotism, a sense of nationhood in the youth, because I mean we cater for youth between the age of 16 and 35, and then I mean these are youth that we are getting from the streets sometimes. So we first tend to instill that discipline before we can actually sit them in formal training. So then the second phase is the voluntary service. So after you are done with your first phase of training, you need to now, of course, go serve on a voluntary basis for 6 months. So you get placed at various, of course, voluntary projects where you serve for 6 months. So as soon as you are done with your 6 months, then you can come back to the institution. Then you can proceed to what we call the technical or the TVET skills program. So once you come there, of course, we offer different courses, about 14 courses. They are recognized by NTA and, of course, accredited by NTA and recognized by NQA. And they range from hospitality, metal fabrication, construction, agriculture. We have agriculture production. We also have farm management as a course, and they go up to level 4. We also have hospitality, hair salon, for example. I don't know what they call that course. But then, we also have that. So we have quite a variety of courses that we have available for the youth.
Okay, okay. Ms. Ngitila, anything under NYC?
Yes, thank you so much once again. But before I get into the programs, I just wanted to make a difference between who I am and my colleague from NYS, please. Because there's always a misunderstanding or confusion as to who is NYS and who is NYC.
Very true.
So,
very true.
of course, both of us are children of the Minister of Sports, Youth and National Service. We are implementing agencies under the ministry. Whereas the more focusing on training, especially of young people that he mentioned, we have quite a number of programs that we are implementing, mostly targeting out of school, but we also have other areas where young people who are in school can also benefit from.
Okay.
So to start with, we have a credit for youth in business. The aim of that program is to it's more of a capacity building program to young people to gain capacity in terms of banking, to have to build up on their reputation with the banks, because it's a loan that they are getting, and through the process they are learning how to really abide to the rules that are coming with that loan. So they are given loans. It's for young people who are in business. They are given loans to expand on their business and to improve on the production. So it's a program that we have been implementing with Bank Windhoek. And of course, once they are enlisted, they are also given some capacity building activities for like mentoring, for them to be able to really manage. And then, of course, we have grants that we started since 2014. But since COVID, we changed more of its focus. Okay. Initially, it was for our structures, institutions like your regional youth forums, that we have 14 regional youth forums and 121, as well as affiliate youth organizations. We used to support them for programs, to implement programs through that component. But since COVID, I think we were more encouraged to support youth-owned businesses to be able to sustain them and to help them also improve on their production. So that's the focus we took since COVID. And of course, we made calls in local media for young people to apply. Yeah. Think they should just be on the lookout as to when we are going to call again. Okay. Once more, maybe back to the beginning, is that as children of the Ministry of Sports and implementing agency, and children of the government, for that matter, we depend on the budget that we get from our government. And that's why even now I'm saying the young people should be on the lookout of what programs are going to be implemented this year, depending on the budget that we have received. Okay. That is one. We also have established horticulture sites in all the 14 regions. The idea again was to impart capacity to young people. So we have one site per region, and we enlisted 6 young people per site, and then they stay on the program for a period of time for them to be capacitated, and with the hope that at the end of the time they go out and they now have interest in setting up their own horticulture sites at home. Okay. So that's the idea. And then we have support that we give to our structures now, which includes 51 affiliates, organizations that are affiliated to NYC. And those affiliates are organized in various focus areas. You have those that are targeting youth in education. Okay. And that's why I'm saying those at school, they can still benefit through our youth organizations that are focusing on education. Like NANSO, for example, is one of our affiliates. NASEM, NACOS, and NACAMA. Those are organizations that are specifically targeting issues that are affecting youth in education. And then other than that, you have religious organizations, you have political organizations, and civic and political organizations. And then, of course, we have programs that are targeting youth with disabilities. It has been a concern to us that we do not have any focal point in terms of how youth issues, how issues are affecting youth with disability are coordinated. So in 2013, we supported the establishment of a youth organization targeting specifically youth with disabilities. And it's a process of building the capacity of that organization for them to be able to really mainstream and advocate for issues that are affecting that target group. Okay. In addition to disability, we also have marginalized youth based on ethnicity. So as I think defined in the national development plans, there are specific groups that are defined as marginalized. So now that we have gotten somewhere with the youth with disability, we are now in the process of also supporting this other group to establish a coordinating body that will help us to reach out to youth from marginalized community. We are planning to have a national conference. We are planning to have them elect an interim committee, because we don't want to do things for them. They must decide that they really want to have an organization. And then us is just to work in the background with them to support them and establish that organization. And the key highlight that I really wanted to make is the 16th National Youth Week, which we are going to have in April, the last week of April. This Youth Week, this year I think we are going to take in the format of a summit to target youth unemployment. The whole summit will focus on finding practical solutions to address youth unemployment in the country. And we are looking at different stakeholders to come on board and to also hear what are the best practices in other countries to help us reduce unemployment. Those are some of the programs, and Youth Week, it's really our key highlight for this year.
Okay.
Yes, thank you so much.
Hopefully we can drag you back here again.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah, yeah, definitely.
To elaborate.
We're looking forward.
I think my bosses hint on that one. We're just giving eye signals here for that possibility. Ms. Kovofi,
Yes.
I come to you. Please, can you tell us, as an entrepreneur, tell us about your business and what motivated you to start this business? And also, I think in the same vein, we would like to find out from you, what are some of, not even some, but the most notable achievements that you have had in your journey?
I'm a fashion designer. I'm a businesswoman, and I've started about a decade ago. I started fashion designing, and so we cater for elegant dresses, like for engagement and for matric farewells and bridal and all type of garments, really, and even men garment.
Okay.
Yes.
Please, Mr. Manfred,
Yes,
she has
please.
not left you out.
Yes. So one of the notable accomplishments really for me personally is after a decade, we decided now to enlarge ourselves and started a fashion academy. So what we do, we train people, especially, the gap, those who didn't make it to get the 25 points to qualify for other institutes, or maybe they even have grade 6 or grade 10, or sometimes they don't even speak English.
Wow.
Yeah, so just to cater for those, because what's most important is to transfer the skill for them to be able to do something for themselves, and also hopefully to create employment for others. So when we do that, we offer a place also for like at each and every intake, we offer also a place for someone from a disadvantaged background, just who will choose. There's not really specific criteria. I normally ask for someone else to choose because some stories are so sad. Yes, yeah, just so that we can just transfer the skill and hopefully really that they would run with it into something for themselves.
Wow, that is beautiful. But I'd like to come back to your beginnings.
Yeah.
Were you trained? Did you go to formal schooling for it? Tertiary education? Were you a benefactor maybe of some form of program, for example, like what NYS and NYC have in place?
No, I'm not, but I noted quite a few of them here, and I would like to be in touch with them because there is so many people who would benefit from this, whom I think we can collaborate. And actually, because I have a lot of people who would come to me and say that they want to learn the skill, and truly they are not able to afford. But I also cannot take on everyone who cannot pay, because at the end of the day, it is a business.
Exactly.
Yeah. So coming from the beginning, I'm a self-taught fashion designer. And how I started, it came from a place of self-introspection, to say that because I was sick, it's a terminal disease, and I was sitting there thinking to myself, like, okay, if I don't make it here, what would I say? What did I do with my life? What did I do with my life? So I could just be buried now and be forgotten within a week.
Wow.
So out of that, I decided to pursue the things that I'm most passionate about, fashion being one of them. And here we are today.
And here we are.
Yeah.
That is a very uncommon beginning. I'm sorry. But it's very inspiring, actually, because it makes the next person think. In most cases, people will be, starting a business from a perspective of, I come from an impoverished background, or, I didn't have much options school-wise or something. But you have given us now a different direction from which anything, basically you're trying to say anything can start from anywhere, as long as the passion is really followed and followed through.
Yes.
That's grand.
Thank you.
My applause to you. I would then like to engage with Mr. Kahipura. There are small businesses, and I think in light of some of the issues that we brought up now, they're mushrooming all over our townships. Don't like the word township, but it's the reality. And these are being started up by young people. So from your experience working with the ministry and other ministries and organizations, what would you then advise where these young people can get funding for expansion if one is interested in something like that?
Yeah, thank you for the question. Yeah, the funding it's a challenge to our SME. I can recognize that. And as the ministry, we also don't provide fund, but we do provide other support services. And we also have, back then we used to have equipment aid scheme.
Okay.
That was meant to reduce the cost of setting up the whole business. So the ministry will buy equipment for you, and then at least it will cater for some costs in terms of running the business. Yeah, as of now, we have the program called Embretech.
Pardon me, come again?
We have the program called Embretech.
Embretech.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so Embretech, it's a transformational training course.
Okay.
That is based on behavior and competencies. And we also have a component of business development advisors that are attached to upcoming entrepreneurs on one-on-one, just to take them through and to get close advice as to how to run their business and where they are failing, need to be, or maybe anything that's going to lead to them to fail, they're going to be assisted instantly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So through this program, we also assist or help guide the entrepreneurs to come up with a bankable business plan. Yeah. So it's a very comprehensive training that runs for 6 days. Yeah. So through this training, it's actually focus on themselves rather than somebody else. So it capacitate them in terms of their competencies, and it also gives them the sense of self-responsibilities. Yeah. So through that, we can also link them to financial institutions. Like as of now, we have DBN, which has also taken over the function of our MSME bank. With the MSME department, where they have products, specific products that are meant for MSMEs.
Okay, okay. But I stay with you. You alluded to having an equipment aid program. Oh, it sounded as if it's something that is discontinued. Is it still there? Is it not there? What was the reason? Maybe if it's not there, why was it discontinued?
So as of current, since 2015 up to where we are today, the equipment aid was held on suspension. Let me say like that, put it that way. But we are looking forward with a hope for the new financial year. And if you follow very well yesterday's budget, it was also mentioned as one of the program that is thought of, and we are looking forward as a ministry to revise the program and see how best we can assist our MSMEs.
Yeah, yeah. No, I ask because you did mention that you don't provide funding necessarily, but I would, one would think that if I had the equipment, somebody else or somewhere else, I could try and conjure up the finances for, let's say, the ingredients or the materials, but at least the equipment would be handled, because I think that is also another big thing. For example, I'll take Ms. Kodofi here. How does she function without a sewing machine? You understand? So if provision would be made for sewing machine, I'm sure she would try and find other ways to look for the material to make a garment, for example. So I do hope with you that it's favorable, very much.
Of course.
I would then come to Ms. Hambure. The training opportunities that are available for the youth, what type of measures are in place, for example, from your side as an organization to try and make sure or instill a sense of having these youth grow this business? Is there some form of accountability process that you put in place?
Okay, thank you so much for that question. I think it talks to the employment creation opportunities. So as part of our mandate, we are also mandated not only just to train the youth, but also to provide or to create employment opportunities for them. So by saying so, I think what I would want to bring is that we don't necessarily recruit the youth after they've undergone our programs. However, we do create opportunities for them to get employment, and that is done through, for example, with as part of our act, there is a provision that talks to the services or the uniform services to actually recruit a quota from NYS trainees that went through civic training. So what we then do is that for a while now, that has not been taking place. So we did now, obviously now revive with the stakeholder engagements, the relationship with them, with NTF, with the police, and with of course the prison services.
Yes.
So what then happens is that with the last recruitment, we did provide a list to them, of course, where they chose a number of our trainees that were recruited into the defense for them to, of course, undergo training and then, of course, gain employment through that. So we are trying to revive, that relationship that existed between the service, being the National Youth Service, and of course the services being the Namibian Police, the NTF, and of course the prisons. So any other way how we really provide opportunities, how we create opportunities really is through stakeholder engagements, where, for example, we do MOUs, we do engagements with various stakeholders, various parastatals, government and non-governmental institutions, private individuals, where we enter into, for example, an MOU where they will, for example, provide internship or apprenticeship to the trainees, because it is a must. It is actually an NTA requirement that, they must go through some sort of apprenticeship before they can actually complete their trades. So what then happens is that through those, we are actually impacting them with the knowledge, the labor knowledge in terms of how to do the job. And that somehow add a bit of experience in terms of their CV and also in terms of the networking and opportunities out there. That's the second one. And also as part of the trainings that we provide to ensure that they just don't get these skills and go sit at home, what we then do is that as part of that, we have entrepreneurship skills as a course that, they are given while they are doing their training with us. That is also just to help them, to give them that business mind in terms of how do I run a business. So when I'm done from here, because unfortunately the labor market is so it's so flooded that there's really no employment for everybody. So the idea is that we train them for them to become self-employed. That is literally the reason, and that is mostly our focus. And also maybe just adding to that, we have the popular YSS, the Youth Security Service. I'm saying popular because of recent events that of course took place. Now, a lot of people will say NYS is recruiting or is training youth to go make them securities, which is not the case. Of course, we have established what we call the YSS. It's the Youth Security Service. It's a subsidiary of NYS. But the reason really for starting up with that initiative was to create interim employment opportunity. So if you are one of our trainees, you went through the training and you haven't yet established yourself in terms of really finding gainful employment or being self-employed, you can come to us, you know, and then we can recruit you through, you through YSS, but just as an interim while you find other opportunities.
Yeah.
So, and it's not a must that, you know, we recruit and then you automatically go there. You can also decide not to.
Yeah.
So the biggest portion really is our trainees, but also we also take youth that just apply, you know, from the community. You don't necessarily have to come through NYS program in order for you to work for YSS. So I think those are the yeah. And I think maybe just adding to that is that we have had a lot of government support because we are a government agency, so we do have a lot of asset. And what I left in my introduction is that we are also engaged with agriculture production, a lot of activities. Let me not just single out agriculture. We have a lot of activities that we are engaged in for self-sustainability. So we generate revenue through these activities. Of course, the biggest being agriculture. So we do have gardens that we have been given by the state. Of recent, we got a garden from the governor's office in Ocho. And really the idea is that we get the garden, we organize the youth from the various regions where the project is running.
Yes.
And then obviously, you know, we help them in terms of running the garden, you know, we impact the skill, but the idea is that they organize and they run, you know, most of these projects, and of course, through the process generate income for themselves. So, yeah.
Wow, kudos. That's a good one, actually. Ms. Gitila, Mrs. Gitila, I would then like to find out from you. Earlier on, you spoke about the credit, youth credit scheme, and from the way you explained it, it's like a loan type of. It has a loan. It is a loan, but it has a revolving nature. I would like to then find out from you, what are some of the challenges that you know the scheme has encountered?
The challenges that we are getting from the youth themselves is that the size of the loan, it seems that it's not highly appreciated because it's very low. But when you also look at the challenges that we are facing as an institution, which is repayment rate, is another reason why we should not really haste in increasing the size.
Yeah.
Because if you are unable to repay a certain amount within which is below 10,000, I do not understand why you want me to go beyond 10,000. If you cannot manage $1, how do you convince other people that you can manage a million? That is the basis why we are keeping it very low. But of course, we understand this. The cost of doing business has gone up, but at the same time, it's a question of will I be able to recover in order to fund more young people?
The next person.
And that's why we embedded a capacity building onto the program, so that you are not only getting the funds, but you are also being mentored to be able to do something. And I was happy to hear from the colleague from the Ministry of Trade, because these are the collaborations and partnership and coordination that we need to engage on, because there are so many activities that we are doing as a government. The Ministry of Trade, in fact, the grants that we are doing now, we copy it almost from what they were giving in terms of equipment aid. But why should we have everyone is having equipment aid?
Exactly.
When it can just be coordinated, and then as a youth organization, we can feed into that.
That's true.
But also, as a government, different institutions, why can we not have information as to how many young people were supported through these various programs that are supporting young people and other members of the public? So basically the challenge, if I have to highlight again, is on one side is the appreciation and the commitment, and from the other side is the recovery, the repayment rate. So that has really affected the program. In fact, as we are speaking, we are in the process of reviewing to see how we can meet each other halfway.
Yes,
and sustain the program at the same time. But those are the key challenges that we are facing. The small basic research that we have done, it's not uncommon for loans program to suffer from both the internal and the external factors. And those are coming out highlighted in many different programs, not only in Namibia but outside the country. I'm sure the Ministry of Trade has had its own share when it comes to equipment aid, and that's why they have put it on hold.
Exactly. Ms. Kolofi, we come back to you, and here we are repeatedly hearing the cost of business can be or is quite a challenge with regards to the high rate of its, I don't know whether it's just the nature of it, or is it just, or is it also attributed to the cost of living as a whole also. But I think I would want to then take you back, because right now today's aim is also looking at motivating the young people.
Yes.
Those that, could, benefit from this conversation and look into wanting to start a business. And hence we want to not just inform them of the roses, but we also want to show them there can be thorns. And this is what we want to try and find out from you. When you started up, what are some of the challenges that you struggled with, and what are some of the ways that you used to remedy those struggles?
I think one of the greatest is funds, the capital to start. Yes, that's one of them. So, but with a good team around you, I didn't have a loan. I didn't get a loan. I just take one step at a time. And I think like the one thing that she mentioned is that if you have a mentor, if you are mentored through, you can do a whole lot better. And that's one thing that I didn't have. But when I look back, I wish it like I had someone who would mentor me. Yes, someone who have the experience, someone who have been there before. So when they have like mentorship program like that, it means like really they are on the right track and on the right direction.
And it's music to your ear, I'm sure.
Yes, really it is. So that is one of the greatest, is the capital, because everywhere you want to go and get, there is something that you have to have, Yes. So, and that was one of the greatest challenge, is not having the capital to start. And I wasn't really aware of all of these beautiful things that I'm hearing here. Yes, I don't know, maybe my age group does not qualify to get to have access to all of that. But yeah,
but I mean, are they really age? Is it that
18
narrow?
18 to 35.
I'm not too sure whether she's over age, but of course.
Yes, ma'am.
But of course, our programs, we are focusing on youth per definition of the National Youth Policy.
Yes.
Which is 16 to 35. So that's the focus.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So I think the lesson here is start now. Before you go over the threshold. Exactly. And I think I stay with you, Mrs. Kolofi. Do you have branches?
No, I don't have branches. I live and work in Ngwendiwa.
Okay.
But what I do with the Fashion Academy, I travel from town to town as where I'm required. Sometimes you find a branch of people who would organize themselves together and say, please come teach us this skill. Sometimes it's uniform, or sometimes it's overalls, depending on what they want to do after that. And sometimes we also got like a call from the councils of different constituencies who said that, okay, can you give us a code if you want, I want you to come train my people. Yeah, so I don't have branches, but I'm flexible to travel where the service is needed.
Okay. The future holds anything. Anything is possible. So we're looking forward to seeing your branches. Then you don't have to travel all over the place.
Yes.
Then you at least have set up structures.
Yeah.
At this point, as time always does to us, it runs out on us. And I would not want or do any justice if I do not ask our panelists to just give us their last remarks, their motivations, their inspiring words to the youth. Ms. Ngitila?
Well, If I have to start, really, is first of all to appreciate bringing us together. I learned, it was a short program, I must say, but I learned quite a lot, especially in terms of what the Ministry of Trade is doing with PRETEC. There's a reason for me to make a follow-up with the ministry, because what we are saying and what I think came out of the APRM, the Africa Peer Review in terms of youth unemployment and the youth situation, is poor coordination. We are not coordinating as stakeholders, as partners, and everyone is trying to do something. I'm sure we are not trying to impress young people, because if that was the case, then we are failing, because we are not impressing young people. So all I'm calling for is really for us to be able to coordinate, to collaborate, especially on the, I have a credit for youth in business and grants, and you are doing mentoring at a different level. Instead of me, again, looking for something else, I mean, for resources to put into mentoring, we can just partner. And then all our people that are getting these funds, they are mentored. That way, maybe we can reduce the repayment rate that we are experiencing from the colleagues. Maybe we can also save resources to put into, to fund more young people. So all I'm calling for is really collaboration, coordination, and partnership for us to be able to make a difference in the lives of young people. Thank you.
Very good. That's a strong point there. Mr. Kahipura?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. Although the session looks like it was very short, it got us off guard. Yeah, but anyway, I mean, we really had a good team from our side, and including the entrepreneur. And I can really being or coming from the entrepreneurship development and promotion division, we are really recognizing the challenges and we are aware of them, and we had also put some programs in place. Yeah, it's just a matter of our youth coming to our offices just to look for information. Wherever possible, we can assist, and where we can refer, we can also do so. Yeah, and I can also recognize that we are having partners with technical support, like the DSIK, which is the German Speakers and Stiftung International Cooperation. It's our technical support within our SME programs. Yeah, so we are planning to have TOTs on micro business simulation. So it's a simulation where you where they show how finances are being managed within the business, be it from the customers, maybe from a loan, and then to how you buy your inputs, and then from there how you sell your inputs. So it's a whole kind of setup from production to the final products. Yeah, so I've also come to realize that some of our key partners, like the NYC, yes, they are, next time I will take them on board, and we need to engage further from here. And the youth are encouraged to approach our offices. It's an open door policy, and we look forward to seeing them.
Okay. Ms. Sambure?
I think from my side, really, I cannot stretch what my colleague from NYC said. Collaboration is very important. Because now we are sitting here, and I'm actually thinking here when I look at our entrepreneur in the house, we have people, trainees that are doing clothing production. So maybe you can have like 2 or 3 from our programs and see if you can mentor them, if you can really coach them. So collaboration is key. And also trade in terms of the finances that are, the schemes that are available for the youth to be able to start their businesses. You know, if we can really collaborate on that, I'm sure we can really make a difference in the life of the youth. But I think from my side, really, my biggest call is really upon the youth. Of course, there is a big interest. Like for every intake, like now we are busy with the 14th intake. We are going to advertise anytime soon. So we are going to take the 14th intake of National Service Training. And the interest is overwhelming. Usually, like last year, we had about over 6,000 applications, and we could only take about less than 400. Yeah, so the interest is there, but I really just want to encourage the youth to really just take up opportunities, to be out there. I mean, we have social media. We are forever on social media, on TikTok, on Facebook. When we are there, let's just not like and follow celebrities. Let's look for opportunities that are available, and let's grab those opportunities, because only then are we able to do something for ourselves as a youth. So that is really my call. Like when you go to trade fairs and expos, you will find a very small, limited number of youth coming to your stand and just wanting to know who you are, what you do, and how they can benefit. So if we can really just, you know, take up that space, you know, and really do something for ourselves, I think that will make a big difference. And the other thing also, maybe when you talk about collaboration, the issue of data management, I've realized that through the industry, or when we talk about youth, data management is a problem, because you don't have one central base where you can go and say, if I want to recruit youth in Kunene, I have this project, where do I get the youth? There's no central place where you can go and actually go and get that information. So maybe also in terms of stakeholder, if we can maybe invest in data management, in softwares that will help us organize the youth, so that at least they can benefit from the opportunities that are available. So, yeah.
No, thank you for that one. One recommendation right there. Also, you know, a strong one that we really need to look into as a country, not just the youth service or the youth council. You know, as a country, different ministries, different agencies, and companies as well. Ms. Ngitila, you have a point that you want to make, add to that one?
Yes, I just wanted to comment on the last point that my colleague made. Yes, it's true. Data management it's a need in different sectors, but in terms of having activities at the regional or constituency level, just for me to highlight again that we have structures, 14 regional youth forums, where you have a regional coordinator, and then in every constituency, which is 121, we have representatives or structures. So when there are programs or activities to take place, we can also make use of those structures to reach to young people. Because the role of those structures is really to coordinate youth development activities at those levels. So we'll appreciate collaboration also on that. Because for us to ask you to give you names of young people from a particular region, it's a matter of sending a message to the constituency, and then they will give you more than what you need.
Okay, okay. I'm liking this vibe. It's a lot of educating each other, a lot of collaboration coming through here. I'm sure from here on, you know, straight to facilitation of various things. I'm liking it. I think that is one of the purposes of a platform like this one. And Ms. Kolofi?
Yeah, it was very interesting being here. I really have enjoyed being here, and I've got so much information coming from all the panelists today. What I would like to add to the youth is just that, you know, when you hear opportunities like this, like really grab them. Yeah, because once you are informed, you know, you make quality decisions, and once you are connected, because like when you hear like this mentorship and there's potential equipment schemes, so with that and a mentorship, I think you can go far, because I think the days are gone where you have to finish grade 12 and look for employment. Those days are very, very scarce, because you could tell that even if there's one post or one vacancy, there is thousands of applications that are going through. And so in that regard, it is very important to it is very important to equip yourself with skills and equip yourself with information like the one that was shared today. Yeah.
Okay. Well said. I think at the end of the day, what we are taking away from here is the educating each other, where you have 4 panelists that are having the same interest. They are running programs with the same goal, which is empowering our youth. And they are there's a business person who is giving us information from their perspective, how they started and so on. So at the end of the day, our message is very clear to the youth. Do not be despaired. There are options out there. There are programs that are in place to try and assist you and help you get to the next step. Because it doesn't mean just because you are in the NYS security branch that you cannot, build yourself back up and get back onto that horse if your plan initially was to get into tertiary education, for example. These are programs to make sure that you are not left behind and that, people take hand in hand to build a future for the country. For now, it is goodbye until our next session. From myself, Desire Kahia, and the crew, we would like to thank the panelists for availing themselves and their time. And at this point, it's bye-bye.